So this video is the continuation of this particular video where we looked at white backgrounds. Okay, in this video we are going to look at color backgrounds, and we are going to do insane church flyer backgrounds in here. You know, there are a lot to learn in this particular video: new tips and tricks, new tools, new effects, cool stuffs, and the link to the zip file containing the images that we are going to use to practice in the description below. Kindly check that out. And if you are new here, this is Cool Graphics with a design chef. Subscribe to join the biggest design restaurant. Everyone is a chef and we are all hungry because we always cooking. All right, so kindly subscribe. Once again, let's jump into this video. So we are going to start with the easy ones. You just need gradients, image, and we use these ones for flyers or church flyers with few details or information. Okay, so you can start, and the color, if you want, you just have to decide. A quick tip is that you just decide, let's say we are looking at your flyer from a distance, what color should we see? Okay, should we see blue, green, or something? You can include, but the main 60% is choose a color that we should see. Okay, the dominating color. So with this one, I'm just going to choose 2, and we are using gradients. Okay, so let's go for gradient. For example, okay, I'm choosing linear. Click here, and from foreground to background. Okay, so over here, let's say I will pick a darker blue color. Okay, and with this side, I'm going in for this range. Okay, so with that, I'm not picking this bright color. No, I'm not picking that, because I'm just picking dim colors so that I can use maybe glow to bring certain portions out. Okay, so 2 colors like this is cool, and I'll click here, click OK, click OK. So with this, we just grab an image. So if we come into this folder, okay, you have this, the link in the description. You have all these images, but here is something that you need to know about creating church backgrounds. When you go to Pinterest, you can check this video out. Okay, when you go to Pinterest, I'll just show you the list of things that you can search in this video for church flyer backgrounds. Okay, so on Pinterest, anything could be a background for your church flyers. Okay, so I'm just taking you guys through. So if you check, I got few images as reference, okay, that we are going to use over here. Okay, so this is the list. Okay, so on Pinterest, you can just write these down and search on Pinterest. Okay, not all of them will be cool, but the ones that I show you in here, if you see a type in there, just click on it, and it will give you more of those. Okay, so let's go through these images. Okay, so one, we got church congregation or praising something. Okay, and we got this is, let's say, Spartan shield and Spartan warriors. And with this one is probably the, what do we call, abstract luxury backgrounds. Okay, so you can go through, just take the list that I've showed you earlier, and you can just go through. Anything on Pinterest could be a background. Okay, and I'm going to show you or prove that to you in this video. Okay, so you have all these. Why am I even showing you these? Okay, so just take those lists. Let me show you once again. All right, so let's go. So in grabbing an image, we can choose. For this one, I'm just choosing praising stuff. So let's say congregation praising or something. So between these images, okay, you can pick any. So let's say I pick this one, and I can just put that here. Okay, and the next thing is just grab my blend modes. So for this one, I can choose soft light. Okay, and you see it dims it down like that. And the next thing that we need to do is just add layer mask, because we need to get rid of this sharp line over here. So we grab our brush. Okay, and I've taught you how to blend with a mask. Okay, so don't just blend or mask out like this for us to see another sharp line like this. Don't do this. Okay, just increase your brush, and you can of course lower the flow if you want, so that you get a smooth thing down there. So just blend and let us not see any sharp line again. Okay, so with this, it's cool. All right, so The next thing is just grab a new layer and change the blend mode to linear dodge. Okay, since we used on this one we use soft light, we just need to just glow certain parts out. Okay, so with the new layer, with the linear dodge, you can grab the brush, and when we hold Alt on the keyboard, you can sample from this portion. Okay, and when we click, we can, oh, the flow is at 40, so let's bring it up and increase the brush, and we can of course add some glows in there. Okay, if we want to. Okay, let me undo all those things. You can put them here as well. All right, good. And if you bring this up here, or let's say if you sample, and let's say you sample from here, it is darker, so you can bring it up a little, and we can just get some shiny glows stuffs over there. So with this, it's cool, and you can of course put your text on and it won't, interfere with it. Okay, so this is cool. You can have other informations with, did I say information down here, cool as that. And if you want to, you can top up with these rainbow overlays. Okay, and then just go ahead and change this to linear, can change it to screen or linear dodge. Okay, and you can just tap that in for a while, and this still looks cool. This is cool. Let's move on to the next one. So another one on the same category, but this one, it'll have an image, let's say a pasta. Okay, so let's grab gradient. Don't think of a solid color. Okay, gradient, and always, you can change the angle if you want. Okay, and always change this to foreground to background. If you want it to disappear, that's where we choose foreground to transparent. Okay, so I'm picking foreground to background. Okay, and for this side, let's choose another color, green, because I want this flyer to look green. But with this one, I just want monochromatic. Okay, I won't choose two colors. Okay, monochromatic, so I just have a shade. Okay, I will reduce the value, and for the other side, I can just, with the eyedropper, I can just click the bottom here to pick the same color. Okay, then I will just push it somewhere here. Okay, that is cool. And let me just dim this guy down a little. Okay, all right, and let's go ahead and click OK. And just a reminder that when you reach this part, you can just click here and drag the gradient up to move the color stops. Okay, so I can just push this here a little. Okay, so it doesn't matter the image that we put in here, it's still going to fit. Okay, so let's just place this guy. You see the color is wayward. Okay, but if we change it to soft light, it blends in there, and this is what we want. But we just need to blur this guy up because we don't want any interference, so we can go to blur and Gaussian blur. Okay, let's increase it 10. It's 10. Okay, or 18 is okay. All right, the reason why I blended this guy is that I just didn't want here to be this side, especially this side, to be empty or one solid color. Okay, so let's add layer mask because we are going to blend in another image. So this portion, we can just wipe it out. Okay, good. And we can bring another image, for instance this image right here. Remember it's just the same theme. Okay, so this one to go for soft light. All right, and just add layer mask because we need to get rid of these guys. Okay, and clean this, blend in a way that we won't see where this one ends and where this one pick up. Okay, that is that. And with this one, we can choose to blend this image, but not too much. Okay, or we can leave it like this, and we can go ahead and add, since they are dark, we just need some glow lights at certain points. So we can add new layer, change this to linear dodge. Okay, and grab the brush, and the foreground color is purple. You can hold Alt, sample from where you want to bring some glow light, sample from there, and you can just add glow light like that. The brush size also matters, that you can add some cool glow lights in there. So this is cool, and I think this is okay. We are done with the background, and let me just bring in the info. So by activating just the info, you get a cool flyer right here. Join our Sunday church. Is a Sunday church? What's Sunday? Anyways, so this is cool. You can just with these, if you practice with these things, you can just come up with church flyers anytime, any day, as simple as that. Let's move on to the next one. So this is the type that we are using, only one image, okay, with a blur, either Gaussian blur or radial blur, and we just add our info and we are good to go. So if I come to the images, these type of backgrounds, okay, we can just quickly get one background image from these kind of images. Okay, so for instance, let's pick this one. Okay, so I'll just drop that in here, and so I'll drop it here. Okay, so you're going to ask me, how are we going to use this as a background? Very simple. We can go for either Gaussian blur or radial blur. So you go to filter, blur, and let's try radial blur and see. So radial blur, okay, amount 10, zoom, no, spin, okay, best, and let's try this and see. So that's it, and it looks whack. Nope. Let's go for filter, blur, Gaussian blur. All right, so with 13, I think this is cool. Okay, and let's click OK, and I think that's that. And if I add info on top, you see this is what I was talking about. Just one background. Okay, if I take it out, it is white. If I bring it, you see this is very cool stuff right here. Okay, so, and one thing, I will just bring you a tutorial. Kindly subscribe about how to design faster with a certain footer and one or two stuffs. Okay, so that is that. Okay, and don't get me wrong, there are glow lights in here. Okay, you see, if I take out the glow lights, you see they'll dim down. Okay, they'll become very dark. So that's it. All right, and if you add certain glow lights, you know how to add glow lights, one at the back, okay, and you bring one at the top, you have a cool effect right here. And you can design these stuffs in less minutes, and you just cash out. And with the background, suppose you don't want this color, you want to change it. Okay, so that's the guy, and you can use either, I think color balance is cool. So with this guy, the background selected, you can choose from here. Okay, adjustments, you got color balance over here, and you can tweak the colors. Okay, you can have any color that you want for the background, and you're good to go. Okay, so let me did you really get this type? Very simple. Okay, for instance, if I take out these guys, I can bring another image, for instance. Okay, so this there, let me just switch this into the other one. Okay, so that is how you can come up with a single image as a background. Okay, so let's move on to the golden ones and be out. So with these types, they seem complicated, but they are very simple. It's just the same process, one way thing that we've been doing. So how I want you to think is, when you are about to start, okay, let's say I can start with a gradient, I can start with radial blur, I can, have overlays in there. What color should dominate? Okay, that is how you can start with a gradient. But for this, let's say we are starting with a golden, we want it to look gold. Okay, and in here, you see, I got these gold stuffs in here that we can use. Okay, if it happens to be that there should be a congregation or hands up stuffs, you can have these kind of good. So in here we can bring an image, all right, or we can start with a gradient. All right, so let's start with gradient. Always try gradient. If it doesn't work, stop. Go Control Z. All right, okay, so let's grab this, and the bottom I'm just going to make it black, and at the top, did I add a new? Okay, so at the top we can go in for, don't go for the fact that we are going for gold or something. Don't make it bright. Okay, always dim things down. We can just brighten them up with the guy that we talked about. What was its name? The glow light. Okay, good. So something like this is cool for the start. Okay, it might not show up in certain designs. Okay, when you want to radial blur images on top, it might not show as well, like properly show. Okay, but for the ones that you pick this, and the next thing that you need to do is just bring an image like people worshiping on an eagle stuff. That is when it will take full effect. I think I will show you in this video. So we can go for one of these abstract luxury backgrounds. Okay, this one is golden heaven image. You can type that, type anything. Okay, so with this I can drop it here. Okay, and this, how can I turn this into a background? Cool. First of all, try the blend mode. Okay, and always check. I'm not going to, don't force yourself to pick the ones that I pick. You just go through and see, you have to perceive how you want it to look, and you just go for it. I'm not sure you want it to look like, no, but you see we got lighting in here, and we got linear dodge, soft overlay, soft lights and stuffs. Okay, but with this I'm going for lighting. Okay, and with that, you see it didn't make any change. Okay, but I can go for filter, blur, and then radial blur. So with this one, we can make it 19, you can make it 10. Okay, it doesn't matter, you can choose to increase it or not. All right, just explore. So that is that, and you see you can go ahead, Control T, and scale it up. Okay, so one thing is that anytime you use a filter or you go to the filters, okay, and you add a filter, you see below it, you see this thumbnail, that is the smart filters, and we got radial blur. So when you select this guy and you grab the brush, okay, with the foreground being black, you can take away some of the filters. Okay, is this filters, some of the filters. So if you want here to be radial blur, but the middle, nope, you can do that. If you want the bottom, you can do that. You can do this, you can do that. Okay, that was just by the way. And after that, make sure you select the layer or any other layer before you can continue. Good. So with this, what we can think of is another image. Let's try bringing another image. So what are we bringing in? Some heavenly stuffs. So with this, it covers it. The next thing you should think of is blend mode, and you go through and see the one that will fit. Okay, so probably I think I will choose overlay. Okay, and if it is too bright, to whatever, that's your footer, where if you place certain info down here, okay, you can just select this guy and add layer mask, grab the brush, take it out. Okay, but when you're taking it out, take your time and take it out. Okay, see, when you are on something and you want to spread seed, you don't just anyway, let's continue. Okay, so something like this is cool. Okay, and you want to make this part red, I just want you to think of the tools in Photoshop. Okay, so probably here you can just on this layer, okay, no, on this layer, is it on this layer? On this layer, Control B for the color balance. You can push this guy to the reds. This is about when you want to make changes to the colors. Okay, all right, so you can make this guy red and all of that. Okay, can try that. I'm not doing that in here. And suppose down here you can bring congregation, praising, stuffs, whatever that you can think of, just bring them in. Okay, this one is out of balance, but let me just try and put it in here and see. Let's say flaming stuffs. You see, when you have control over the tools, you can do whatever that you want. Okay, so there could be this guy here there could be that guy over there. So if you check, you see sharp lines in here, you know how to get rid of that. Add layer mask and then just brush out. Okay, so you can put one in here, put things in there. If they are not necessary, don't do those things. Okay, and of course you can tap that feeling of rainbow stuffs in there. Just try things out and they will work. Okay, one or two will work. Okay, so you can do things, stuffs like this. Now let's jump to the next golden background. Okay, so let's try again and see if the crap that I said earlier is going to work one more time. So let's go in, and for the first one we use this image. Okay, so we are going to try another golden heavens gate or something. So let me increase that a little. Okay, and click OK. So with this, you can simply go for radial blur. Okay, since you don't know how to use or you have no idea, go for radial blur. Okay, so radial blur and click OK. All right, so we shake it up like this, and the next thing that we need to do is very simple. We just blend in images and we are good to go. But another point to consider is that, you see, I didn't start with gradient. I just wanted to show you something. You see, let's say this, you want to brighten it up. Okay, you are not feeling the brightness in there, you can simply go for new layer and change it to linear dodge. You can go for glow. Okay, what am I saying? So if you have it like this, you can sample a color from here and you can of course brighten this up. Okay, my flow is at 50, you can set it to 100 and you can, if you want, okay, you can just brighten it up like this. But suppose, let's say you want to change colors or something, that is when the gradient matters a lot. Okay, why am I saying this? Let's delete this glow guy. Okay, and let's turn this guy off. Let's go for gradient. So the essence of the gradient is this. For here, I think I'll pick black, and for this side, I think I gotta go for this color. Okay, so somewhere here, good. And whoa, let me undo that. Let me drag up like this, maybe. Okay, so with this, I can turn this guy on and I can change the blend mode of this to screen. Okay, so you see, this is before, this is after. You see, we get the brightness in there without using the glow with the new layer. Okay, so suppose now we don't want this. Okay, we can simply double click the gradient and then we can try to change the colors from here. Okay, so the reason why we go for gradient and blend in is that we can simply tweak whether to bring it down or bring it up, bring it to anywhere, how you want it. We can go for that. Okay, that is why we choose gradient. Okay, good. So with this, I think I'm picking gradient, and since the background is black for the gradient, you see here is black, I can of course select this guy, add layer mask, and then if I want, I can just chip in some darkness in there. Okay, and it still looks cool. All right, just a little one. Okay, and maybe probably I can put something in here, but I'm not doing that. Okay, so when we got it like this, and then now you can just bring in one or two images. For example, I don't know what your theme might be based on, but you can bring in this guy. Suppose the theme is punch the devil in the face. Okay, you can go for blows like this. Really, click OK and simply grab your you can go for screen. It's overlay cool. Let's try soft light and see. Oh, let's see now. Okay, so how you want it. Okay, you can go for that. And after that, let me just resize this small. Okay, let me place it here. And after that, don't forget to add layer mask and get rid of any excess. That's okay, just blend them in smoothly like that. Okay, and you can of course choose what you call soft light. Okay, if you want, but you see soft light brings in another edge. You can clean that if you want this effect. Okay, but with this one, let's choose screen, and with the other image, let's pick, let's say we have a lion over here. Okay, let's pick a lion and put the lion here, and let's change it to, so with the soft light, I don't want how the lion appear. Have choices. Okay, but don't choose this guy. Soft light is cool, or overlay is cool. Let's pick overlay and see, and I will just add layer mask. Taught you how to mask, just mask out smoothly. We don't see edges, we don't have any sharp lines. Again, this guy looks very sharp. Is it because of the whatever below that? Let me just bring some up here. So that's cool. You can shift this guy here. Okay, and let's bring some LGBTQ stuffs. I know when I try placing these stuffs in here, what comes into your head is those freaks. Okay, so now if you go ahead and activate info, you can see this very cool. And this guy right here, I don't like how it's so vibrant. I might love to blur it up a little. So let's go to, I didn't say let's go, please. Or if you want, just take it out. Okay, that's cool. And should you try another one? Okay, let's try another one. So with this, we are not going to use gradient. Okay, we just need example, this image right here. And if I zoom in, you can see there are watermarks in there. Don't worry, you just go to blur, radial blur. Okay, 16 is cool, best, good. Now this looks too red. I don't want you to think this looks too red. I'm thinking this is too red. I need to shift it to the yellows. Okay, if you are starting with the background stuffs like this, think of, okay, should it be red? No, I don't want it to be red, but I'm using an image that is red, but I want it to be, I know, I want to move it to the yellows or something. You can hit Control B, or you see this guy right here, the color balance, it is Control B. Okay, the difference with the shortcuts is that you see, when you hit Control B, it comes below under the smart filters. Okay, but if you pick it up from here, color balance, it comes as a new layer and you have to clip it into that. Okay, that is just the only difference you need to know. So Control B, and I will shift this guy to the yellows. Okay, it is too, I'll push this side. Okay, so I think this is cool. If it is not cool, it has to be cool. All right, so this, if I turn off the color balance, does it, and after. Okay, so me not knowing whatever your theme is, okay, you can try things, did I say things? Things like this glow guy over here. Okay, you can put this up here like that and you just blend it. Okay, so I think the linear dodge is cool. Oh no, that's bad. Screen is okay. Okay, so no, screen please. So the screen is cool. I don't know what you're designing, then you can put your info there. Okay, you can try what do we call, if you are finding it difficult typing things down here, you can try the white footer. Okay, so cool, like that. Let me get rid of that very quick, and you can try another thing. Your theme, I don't know whether it's revival. If it is revival, probably you have an eagle that's go through those eagle stuffs. What is eagle stuffs? They just refresh, they fast, and then they come back stronger. Okay, so you can change this to screen. I think screen is cool, and you can see got that eagle in there. If it interferes with the foreground information, you can go ahead and blur. Don't radial blur this one, please. You can Gaussian blur this up a little, and or blur it up until it doesn't anymore. And you can see the eagle in there, and you can have your information. And don't get me wrong, you can of course add glows where there is interference. You can just add glows by creating new layer, color dodge, no, linear dodge, sorry, and can add glows to pop things up. Okay, I'm just trying to let you open the box in your head so that you can think outside of it. When you are designing things, like, you just have to explore things. Okay, try this, it doesn't work, try this. I have this effect, I can go to the filter gallery. No, I can try this, I can try that. Okay, that is that. Don't get me wrong, and don't think that the fact that I'm making this a tutorial, I'm doing it simple. No, I just plan. Okay, don't believe what you see on the internet. Okay, so we can grab this guy from the side. Okay, on Pinterest, please download anything that you see. Okay, anything could be a background, trust me, anything could be a background. Can add layer mask, and you can just clean the side out. Okay, and it becomes a background for and you can tap in, since this got to do with, if you don't overlay this with fire, you can overlay fire spark, just like I'm doing right here. Okay, so this is cool, and you can chip in some fire spark. Oh my god, this is cool. And of course, if let's say you are putting information here and it is interfering with the background, of course you know what to do. You can tap in some glows to just put the text, make the text stand out, or the info stand out. They are still cool. So if you practice with this, just download, search things, file, yeah. All right, and even if you don't want this eagle guy down up there, you can of course bring these guys. Okay, let's bring this. Okay, suppose this is war stuffs. Okay, we are warring. What English is that? Are we warring? How do you war? Okay, yo, how did this guy just automatically became a blend mode? I don't know. Wow, let's choose soft light. Okay, add layer mask. See, not everything has to be with screen and stuffs. Okay, and let's bring this shield. Suppose this is some battlefield war stuffs. I don't know, but we are just, does depend. Is it depends or depend? Let's right click whatever pen and flip horizontal so that we shift it to the side. Control T again, and let's resize it. Okay, place it here. You want to see the full sort. Okay, and let's change this to soft light. Add layer mask, and let's clean the edges. Okay, all right, so you can of course chip in some glow lights, or if you want on top of this guy, I can bring in this is just an intrusive thought. Okay, not something that you have to do. Okay, so this, I can radial blur this guy. Let me see if it'll work. Radial blur. Okay, let's radial blur and see. Okay, and screen. Nope, it didn't work. Okay, it didn't work, and I have to delete this guy, or I can make this guy better. So I can delete this. Okay, and if I want to, I can bring another guy. Stubborn Academy, we don't give up. Okay, you can just put this guy here, and let's radial blur again. All right, and change it to screen. Okay, now this seems cool. Okay, this is cooler. All right, if there happens to be that there should be congregation, don't forget your congregation. Okay, you can congregate down here. All right, you can screen congregate, or soft light congregate, or no, don't color dodge congregate. All right, so let's say soft light congregation. You just have to clean this guy out by adding layer mask, and we got congregation down here, and you can put your stuffs there. And that brings us to the end of this awesome tutorial. If you enjoyed this and you haven't subscribed, don't come on this channel again, because we are seriously cooking every day, and you have to be part of the hungry chefs. All right, so this is the design chef, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, kindly subscribe, share this video, link to the resources in the description. Once again, why am I talking plenty? I'm going to eat gobe. I'm out. Peace.